The plot has thickened in the ongoing saga of political journalist Olivia Nuzzi and the aftermath of her digital affair with the unhinged former presidential candidate JFK Jr. Now, you may recall that Nuzzi was engaged to a writer for Politico. His name's Ryan Lizza. When news broke of her affair, well, now she's actually accusing him, who's now, by the way, her ex-fiancé, of blackmail and harassment in a new civil protection order that she filed against him. So the protection order was filed in Washington, D.C. Superior Court Magistrate Judge Robert Hildum basically granted a temporary protection order that lasts through October 15th. And then on October 15th, they're gonna have another hearing, and I guess they'll decide how to proceed moving forward. So what exactly is Olivia Nuzzi alleging about Ryan Lizza? In her petition filed in DC Superior Court, Nuzzi accused Lizza of threatening to make public personal information about me to destroy my life, career, and reputation, a threat he has since carried out. She also alleged that Lizza stole a personal device from her. I'm gonna assume that it's her phone. Threatened to share the materials from the device with the media. But if true, this is not good behavior, okay? Like, look, I'm gonna bring you in right now, John.
Yeah.
I don't know about you. Like, Christian and I, like, 1,000,000% respect each other's privacy. Because if homeboy's cheating or if I'm cheating, eventually we're gonna find out, okay?
Mm-hmm.
But for me, like, the psycho behavior of checking someone's phone or like snooping around and invading their privacy is just not a good sign of a healthy relationship.
Yeah, you definitely don't steal your partner's phone. I think it's stupid because they'll notice that they don't have it anymore and they'll know that you stole it. Instead, you just copy all the data off of it and then you have that backup. You can give that to the journalist, maybe Ken Klippenstein, I don't know. He's banned on Twitter. It may not be the best investment, but no, I'm kidding. No, every part of this story is terrible. I haven't honestly really even been following the story because it just makes me so uncomfortable, every part of it. I don't know any of these people. RFK Jr. was a gym once when I was there, but aside from that, I don't know any of the parties in this story. I don't have a dog in the fight. I don't know, are they good people? Are they bad? Like, did he steal it because he's the sort of person who does that? Or was he so angry that he found out they had this relationship that he was like, well, at least I'll make a story out of it. I don't know. Both are bad, by the way, but they're different sorts of bad. I feel bad for, like, not necessarily everyone. I don't feel bad for RFK Jr. about much these days, but I don't know. It's a really uncomfortable situation. It probably doesn't help for any of them that anything that happens in this is going to automatically become public knowledge.
Yeah.
And so the whole thing is just super uncomfortable.
So, look, good on you for being better than me and not feeling drawn to a story like this. Okay, I don't care. I'll admit it. I'm drawn to the story, and I'll also admit something else that's probably going to be very unpopular. I don't know why, but for some reason, out of everyone involved, like, I'm kind of rooting for Nuzzi because I feel like, I don't know. There's a lot that's happened that I don't like. RFK Jr.'s allies going to the New York Post and trashing her and saying that she's like, oh, she was chasing him with porn. And like, I don't believe any of that. And by the way, this story will clarify some of the reasons why I don't believe any of that. But look, what she did was wrong. I've admitted that, okay? If you're having a personal relationship with a presidential candidate that you're profiling, by the way, and reporting on, that is unethical, okay? I 1,000,000% agree with that criticism, but I do not agree with like demonizing her and trying to like destroy the rest of her life. That's ridiculous. Yeah. By the way, she also alleged in that court filing that Ryan Lizza impersonated an anonymous campaign operative and allegedly contacted a political campaign with hot goss. He didn't say that, she didn't say that, meant to destroy Nuzzi's career. I added the hot goss, but like, basically the information to try to destroy her career. In the last few months, it is my understanding that he began hacking my devices for the purpose of stalking and surveilling me and to collect materials that could be used as blackmail to intimidate me back into a relationship with Lizza. Gross. She also alleges that Lizza threatened her with physical violence to force her into assuming his share of financial responsibility to a joint contract with a book publisher. Nuzzi and Lizza were collaborating on a highly anticipated book on the 2020 presidential campaign. Their publisher paused the project in December of 2021. Okay, I think there's a really important lesson to learn from this, okay? If you work in media, do not, under any circumstance, date someone else in media. Like, it's such a bad idea. Don't get engaged. Don't do like business ventures. Don't write a book. I mean, you could write a book with someone else who's in the media, but it shouldn't be your fiance. Like, you get what I'm saying? Like your personal life should be different from your work life. Okay, it should be a break from your work life. Like, this is actually a blessing in disguise, John. It really is. Because can you imagine the devastating existence of having to come home to your journalist husband? I don't want to come home to a journalist husband or a politician husband. I want to come home to someone who's not involved in any of that stuff. I need a break. I need a break.
I love Anna. Like, John, can you imagine the unique hell of being married to a journalist? I guess I can, yeah. Thanks, by the way. Also, my wife is in media.
Hold on, but she's not like, it's different. She does like entertainment stuff. What I mean, John.
No, but you're describing her experience of being married to me.
No, you're totally missing it. When two parties are in the same industry, that's what I'm trying to say.
Sure. Yeah,
in the exact, when they're doing the same work. Yeah.
Look, I do agree with you that it's maybe a blessing in disguise. Not necessarily the same blessing that you're saying. I imagine that, assuming their relationship was what I assume most relationships are, which is until it all fell apart, it was good. Although there was the cheating, so maybe it wasn't. It's got to be at least devastating for one of the two, probably both of the two. But that said, in terms of career stuff, I mean, I think we all understand how the modern world works. They're all made in the shade off of this. They can launch Substacks and they can write a book and they can do a podcast. And the fact that all of this happened, like, yeah, maybe it makes it more difficult for them to theoretically have some traditional jobs, but they'll probably end up getting paid 8 times as much in whatever independent venture they set up. Again, that doesn't mean that, they're not experiencing, emotional or psychological distress right now, but it'll almost certainly financially pay off.
What? Wait, hold on.
Okay, their names have never been bigger as a result of this scandal. They're all over the place.
Yeah, true, but
that's how it works.
I think this could potentially be devastating for Nuzzi's political journalism
Maybe
career.
We are in a misogynistic society. It's entirely possible that she'll be harder hit by this than he will coming out of it. But her profile is raised, and again, maybe some misogynistic workplace or whatever doesn't want to hire her later. But again, that doesn't stop her from setting up a Substack or writing a book or launching a podcast or whatever independently. And her profile is again much higher than it was previous to this.
I don't know.
I could be wrong.
Yeah, we'll see what happens. Now, she hasn't been officially fired from New York Magazine. She's on leave pending a third-party investigation into her reporting to see if there was any, bad reporting as a result of her relationship with RFK Jr. But I should also note that Lizza denies all of this, saying that he is saddened that my ex-fiancé would resort to making a series of false accusations against me in a way to divert attention from her own personal and professional failings. I emphatically deny these allegations and I will defend myself against them vigorously and successfully. All right, we'll see how successful you'll be in court. So we'll see how this plays out. But I just feel like someone like Olivia Nuzzi, who was like one of the star journalists at New York Magazine, is probably not going to feel great about just doing Substack. I don't think there's anything wrong with doing Substack. I just launched my own, but I mean, she was on a trajectory.
Ken Klippenstein.
Yeah, by the way,
freed up.
Follow Ken's reporting over at Substack. He's amazing. I'm always going to be a fan of his work because he does important work, especially when it comes to the State Department and foreign policy. So check it out. I'm a big fan of Substack and all the independent not all of them, but there's some wonderful independent journalists over there.
Thanks for watching the video, guys. We also love it if you hit the join button below because that makes you a member, and members allow us to be independent, honest. We can be as progressive as we want, no corporate media influence, and that's all because of you guys. We love doing the show with our members. Hit the join button, become one of the Young Turks.